Liberation greetings to all and sundry, my dear people of Ambazonia, my dear people of the southern Cameroons. Accept greetings from me, Comrade John Akuro, this Saturday, August 23, 2025. I'm delighted to be here once more. And again, it really doesn't bother me saying it over and over. Like I said, I'm not at my location, at my current location. I'm not able to access our studio, so we will continue to, to broadcast in this fashion until I'm able to get back to my base and, regain access to our studios, and we will be able to play feats. That said, I'm coming here today, my dear people, in fulfillment of a promise that I made in my yesterday's broadcast. That today we're going to talk a lot about the situation of our brothers and sisters still serving, or rather that are serving with the armed forces of La République du Cameroon. But we're going to make a little brush because I was looking at the statistics and they needed some little updates. And so I've reached back to my sources within the armed forces of La République du Cameroon to get, especially with the police corps, because we'll begin with the police corps, to get an update of the statistics that I have, so that I should be able, so that when we talk and make lay bare the statistics and indicate the exact malaise that these people are facing, there will be no question of this is exaggeration, or this is just a product of imagination. To understand that these are issues grounded in facts. That is what this is all about. So for that reason, I gave them until late tonight to get me all those details, and the Sunday, therefore, August 24, we will delve into all of that, without any reservation. But today, let's talk about some very interesting issues relating to our relations with neighboring La République du Cameroon, and especially with their upcoming elections, or call it with their upcoming selections. My dear people of Ambazonia, I want to take this opportunity to ask each and every one of us that is watching me or listening to me on ground zero to look at your surroundings. When you look at your surroundings, just at your surroundings, don't go far away from where you are. Just look at your surroundings and ask yourself this fundamental question: whether after 64 years of this unfortunate yoking with La République du Cameroon, is that what we deserved? That's why I say just look at your surroundings. If you are from O'Shea, imagine what you go through to live from O'Shea just to Acha. Talk less of getting to Mbengri, your county headquarters. If you are from Gi, you use the same road. You understand exactly what I'm talking about. And if you are from Acha, I'm talking about Momo County here, part of Momo County. If you are from Acha, you definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. Ask yourself whether there is anything that you can brag about. If you are from Bengri, or you are from Nyen, or you are from Jinibi, or you are from Zam, or you are from Aku, or you are from Me, from Funam, Munam, Njindom, and all of those areas. And or you are from Bengagang. Yeah, from Bengagang. And you are coming from the Bome, Kubome, all of those areas, Njeko. Then you are coming to Tat Market, which is your main market. Or you are from Zangtambang, Zangtabi, and all of those. From Gumnambak, then you are going to Tat for market. How easy is it for you to get there? Someone will come and stand, gather all of you people and burn market, and begin to give you old-time religion, and tell you how I am minister, because if you support, I am minister, I'm this, Paul Biya has kept me in power, like people has done me this. What do you benefit as a result? What do you get? Some lunatic will come and tell you, oh, I'm senator, oh, I'm parliamentarian, oh, I'm this and that, and all of those things. What do you get? As a result, your farm produce get rotten on the way before you take it to the market. If your wife, yourself, your sister, your whoever is pregnant, to get them to the hospital, too often they are likely to give birth on the way because of the nature of the roads. I'm looking here at just roads, not anything else. Because if we want to talk about electricity, there are too many of you in these localities that have not seen electricity for 1 hour. Within the past 2 months. I want to talk about telecommunication, telephone communication. No. That's something else. Sometimes you have to climb on trees, go right to the top of hills to get network for a few minutes only, and to communicate in an epileptic manner. That's Momo County, yeah. And I'm leaving from Mbengui, from Ungi, from Njikwa. Let us get down to Mogambo. What do you have to show aside from the Trans-African Highway that passes through Batibo, gets down to through Widikum to Manfia and then to Ekok? What else do you have? But someone is coming on Saturday, August 29, to tell you that Paul Biya and the CPDM are the way, the truth, and the life. They will come to go and inaugurate some local market. A market that even for you to get your produce to is hell. A market where you are constantly harassed by thugs from La République du Cameroon calling themselves soldiers for you to pay them taxes before you go sell your produce. In a lot of these villages, do you have electricity? In a lot of these villages, if your people did not work hard for community-based portable drinking water schemes, do you have access to water? You look at a village like Kuruku. To get to Kuruku is hell. I say because I've been there. But what distance is it from the tar around the Presbyterian Church in Batibo, in Awi, to get to Kuruku? After how many years? Someone is coming to tell you that put your trust and your love in Paul Biya because he's the way, the truth, and the life. Or continue to be yoked to a system that cannot help itself, meaning it cannot help even you. I'll go down to Manu. We will say the very same thing about roads. For how long have they been constructing the Kumbamanfe Road? Where are we? Where are we? For how long have they been constructing the Kumbamanfe Road? 100 kilometers. No more. 100 kilometers. For how long have they been constructing the Kumbamundemba Road? I've shown you videos here around Big Nganjo, Small Nganjo, around the entrance getting to Mbonge, going to pass through the Prime Minister Joseph John Guterres village of Bogongo. Horrible conditions. Horrible. Yet they are coming to tell you. And for my brothers and sisters in Fako, do you know that there is a road that will go from Muyuka through Abia, that will form a belt and then come out at Idenau, round Mount Cameroon? And that if that road were constructed, tourist activities will boom beyond imagination. And that will boost the local economy to levels never before known. Are you aware? But have you tried it? Sorry state. Sorry state. Let's look at that Tico International Airport. They said they had handed out the contract at least 3 years ago, to the best of my knowledge. And that work was ongoing there to make Tico, which in 1959, 1958, 1960, 1961, the Tico Airport was an international airport. International flights were landing in Tico. Are you aware? You were in Tico. Do you know that Tico was an international airport between 1955 and 1961, and maybe slightly beyond? Are you aware that all the delegations of the people of the Southern Cameroons that were flying to the UN in New York were not flying from any other country? They were flying from Tico. Did you know? Or you want me to ask my people of Balinyuma whether they even know that there was an airport in Bali? What happened to it? So the people of Tico, they will come and stand and tell you that there is so much to benefit from belonging to a horrible, horrible, horrible country like La République du Cameroon. And you pay heat? Look at Sonara. They burnt it. They burnt it because they wanted to take insurance money from there to go and use it in constructing their ultra-modern refinery in Kribi. I said it at the time, way back in 2019. Some of you made as if I was getting mad. Bella Mokichas, aka Ngaringa, said that graphic boy is talking nonsense. Bella Mokichas, you and I, we know each other very well. You know me. We know each other. Huh? You know, we did a lot of things together, Bella Mokichas. But you see, when I talk to you, it's because it's you that you gave me the impression to think you were. Just prior to 2017, I started noticing that I was heavily deceived. Because look at you. I still have your recordings, Bella Mokichas, in which you said I can start a revolution because you were so dismayed at the direction that the Southern Cameroons was taking. But shortly afterwards, I saw the level of your hatred for Graphic people. It was beyond imagination. I haven't forgotten the diatribe you got into with the lady Kema Patrick. You and Mola Peter Mafani Musonge, because you were quarreling him for hiring whom you said was a settler. And you are referring to Mwapol. Mwapol is in Boya, because he hired Mwapol to be the head of his communications at the mayor's cabinet. And you asked the stupid question as to how on earth can he bring those people we don't like right into the cabinet of the mayor of Boya. Oh, you were attacking him too, because he appointed a lady. I won't call her name for decency. That she had Grafi roots, although her husband was from Fako. But you said, how can you appoint such a person to be handling the office of finance? My dear people of Ambazonia, these things may seem little, but they are extremely important. We must continue to call these people out for whom and what they are. Because by their individual and sometimes even collective actions, they push La République du Cameroon's agenda to divide us and divide to levels never before known, so they can better rule over us. I was in Bangem, in Kuping Wanenguba, when Professor Elvis Ngole and others came together and named a dirty patch of land where they had put some 2 poles there and they were calling a football field, and named it President Paul Biya Stadium. Oh my goodness. Sometimes they really thought they were serving that lunatic. But go look at it. Even the grandstand that is there has deteriorated to levels never before known. And after that was done, it took us 7 to 9 hours to travel out of Bangem to Melon, 33 kilometers. And we had the strongest vehicles that have been used in the land. 4-wheel drive vehicles, Land Cruiser VX, Land Cruiser Prado, Hilux, all of those vehicles. But it took us 9 hours to do 33 kilometers. And why were we going through Melon? To go to Tombell. Because pass through Melon to go to Tombell. Because the road linking Bangem to Tombell was absolutely impassable. 57 kilometers of road. Yet, these same people are coming to tell you that belonging to La République du Cameroun or having anything to do with La République du Cameroun, that remaining yoked with La République du Cameroun is the best thing that can ever happen to us. Who did this to us? That's a question you ask yourself. Who did this to us? My people of Ambazonia, my dear people of Southern Cameroons, we have no business with the elections that are being prepared in La République du Cameroun or with the selections, because there's even no election. You can see for yourself. Look at those of Southern Cameroon's extraction who are going out there to claim that they are citizens of La République du Cameroun and dragging us into a thing to want to give the impression to the rest of the world that our people are still so interested in being in a sterile union of La République du Cameroun. See how they are faring. You look at O.C. Joshua. O.C. Joshua is now an object of pity. You look at what is happening. All of his party stalwarts everywhere are resigning. O.C. Joshua, Nambangi, when is the last time you put your leg in Mundemba? When is the last time you went out there to visit the people of the Southern Cameroons who are internally displaced all over our territory, needing relief assistance, needing assistance with medication, needing food assistance, needing assistance with basic clothing? Since when? O.C. Joshua Nambangi, you're in Douala. The only time that you went visiting our refugees, our people who are refugees in La République du Cameroun, based there in Douala, who have been exploited day in, day out, who have been used anyhow, who have been captured, huge sums of money collected from them as ransoms with accusations that they are sponsoring the self-defense volunteers. When is the last time you honestly went out there to pay some attention to their needs, to their challenges, and to assist them, and to advocate or to stand up for them? The only time you tried to make a rapprochement was when you were getting ready for elections. And you said, oh, this sheep, I need to run to them, because the time that I need them has come. What a shame. What a shame. I listened with a lot of dismay to La République du Cameroun's activist, Jipon Remingono, deride you, O.C. Joshua, deride you to levels never before known. And that's what is going on across the board. Nobody sees you as even belonging to the opposition. You know why? You know why? Because when the bloodthirsty regime in Yaoundé, when the genocidal regime in Yaoundé asked its parliamentarians of the CPDM crime syndicate to go out there and sign a petition requesting the United States of America to deport all of us back, all those fighting for the freedom of the people of Southern Cameroon back to the country, you, O.C. Joshua, was the only so-called member of parliament from the opposition to sign that petition. Nobody from Issa Chiroma Bakari's FSNC signed. Nobody from Bello Buba's NUDP party signed. Nobody from Patrice Ndamjoya's CDU party signed. Nobody. You alone, O.C. Joshua, who should have been extremely concerned about the fate of your suffering people being slaughtered on a daily basis, you alone signed. Who could have expected that? And you expect anyone to respect you? That is why before your very watch, you can see the hitherto very strong and robust Social Democratic Front SDF party collapsing like a castle of cats under the flick of a child. You can see that for yourself. No one needs to tell you. And O.C. Joshua, only when elections were approaching, that you, O.C. Joshua, started making some noise. Oh, I think it is time for La République du Cameroon's parliament to allow discussions regarding the ongoing genocide in your homeland to happen in the parliament of La République du Cameroon. What a shame, what an embarrassment. When is the last time that you, O.C. Joshua, went out there to sound an alarm that your people are being dehumanized? Oh, you want to come to tell us today. Oh no, you believe that this thing can be resolved through participating in the rigged elections of La République du Cameroon. It's a shame. It's an embarrassment. It's just downright horrible, Joshua O.C. Now, yesterday, I was talking about the venerated man of law. I always call him that because he deserves it. Of course, he is a legal luminary. Barrister Akere Muna. I already predicted yesterday because by the time I was broadcasting, I had not received the news that the Constitutional Council, the Kangaroo Constitutional Council, had effectively done just what I was predicting. But I followed you, Akere Muna, celebrating that at least they said your petition was admissible, but just that the issues you raised were not founded. Like seriously. As if you expected that in a gathering of fowls, a cockroach will be declared innocent. My dear people of Ambazonia, I read some comments with people saying, oh no, he really tried, he did his best and all of those things. Barrister Akere Muna, you have a very impressive CV internationally. Barrister Akere Muna, you will be recognized, you will get greater recognition internationally if you were to use the clout that you have to go around the world crusading for the people, for the plight of the people of the Southern Cameroons. If you were to go around the world calling the attention of the international community to the need to put pressure on the Yaoundé regime to sit on the negotiation table to ensure that justice is done to the people of the Southern Cameroons. I hope you haven't forgotten that the people still hold it clearly in their minds and dearly that your father, the late Honorable Solomon Tandeng Muna, facilitated the completion of the annexation of the Southern Cameroons. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties, but before his passing, your own brother, Barrister Bernard Achomuna, was clear. He threw his support behind the cause of the people of the Southern Cameroons, not for just free freedom, but for justice and then freedom. I recall what he said. That let them bloody fight. Let them bloody fight for their rights. Let them bloody fight for what they believe in. Let them bloody fight to take back what belongs to them. Barrister Akere Muna, I hope you haven't forgotten the article you couched on the 11th of January 2017, because I still have that article, in which you asked the fundamental question: Cameroon is one and indivisible. Which Cameroon? And the premise of your article was clear, that the Cameroon that they are talking about as being one and indivisible, if they are referring to La République du Cameroon that got its independence on the 1st of January 1960, then they could be absolutely correct. And then you also said, if they were referring to the Southern Cameroons, for which the United Nations held an independence vote on the 21st of April 1961, that it is one and indivisible, then you two are absolute, that they will be absolutely correct. But that if they were talking about the current dispensation of La République du Cameroon, including the territory of the former UN Trust Territory of the British Southern Cameroons, then there was a problem. Because it can never be one and indivisible. Because these are two separate entities. Two separate entities. Two peoples. Two cultures. And two destinies. And then what happened afterwards? Or you were cowed eventually by the threat posed to your freedom when your own sister was used by the same bloodthirsty regime in Yaoundé, Amatutu Muna, to sue you criminally and to make you vulnerable over the management of the property of your late father? My dear people of Ambazonia, I know you will say at some point that, but why is he talking and going into this man's personal life? Because it beats my imagination that people know the truth, even say it, but in their actions, what they are doing is contrary to what they know to be the truth. And today you come, I want to tell us, no, you see, I'm standing for a candidate for presidential election. Let's try to do this thing. We can go through elections and get this. But you know, there are no elections in La République du Cameroon. There are selections. What happened to Maurice Kamto? Today, everyone already knows the result of that election. Nobody is doubting it. That Paul Biya is absolutely incapacitated. That Paul Biya cannot stand anywhere to do anything. That is absolute vegetable. Everyone knows that power now in that country is being wielded by Chantal Biya and Ferdinand Gongo. But at the same time, even the French media is clear that the electoral system has been so confiscated to the point where there is no breathing space and there is never going to be any room for power alteration through the ballot box. Yet, you want to deceive our people to get into some stupid merry-go-round. Let me be clear about this. For those of you who come sometimes in my videos, in the comment section, and insult and say trash and say everything, oh, they are nonsense, we're going to listen. Jordan Dane says, it's better to die free than live in a cage. It's better to die free than live in a cage. And I'll repeat what I've said on this platform over and over. That by trying to deceive our people to get into this nonsense called elections of a country that has clearly occupied our territory by force. By doing that, you know very, very clearly, and it's a truth that you are aware of, that you are trying to lead our people continually to the slaughter. Someone come and ask me, oh, why do you think? Why do you think? Do you think we'll ever get there? This is what I've always said. By trying to settle for rubbish, which I say, you're settling for less than you deserve, you always end up with far less than you settled for. This truth we already know. When we found ourselves unevenly yoked with La République du Cameroon in some rubbish called a federal system, in which we're going to be two entities equal in status, What did we get? How did we end up as an annexed people? Did they even show us respect? I mean, just respect when we were changing the form of the state so they could have unfettered access to our resources. And what they did next is settle down and create artificial animosity between the people of the southern Cameroons. I want to remind each and every one of you watching me here. Prior to 1961, there never existed any such thing as Northwest and Southwest. It did not exist. That when you see today and they tell you that, oh, the people of the Northwest have cheated the people of the Southwest a lot and all, no, it never existed. That they cheated you so much, it never existed. There was no such thing as Northwest and Southwest. No. Go back and look at the governments formed in the southern Cameroons. And you look at the divisions that existed at the time. You only looked at it from the viewpoint of the people of the forest zone and the people of the grass field. And you look at each successive government. When the prime minister was from what we now call today the southern zone, from the forest zone, he appointed 3 cabinet ministers from the forest zone to add to himself to make 4, and will appoint 4 cabinet ministers from the grass field to make up a cabinet of 8 ministers, including the prime minister, 8, and there will be 4. If the prime minister were from the forest zone, like was the case when John Good Foncha was prime minister, he appointed 4 cabinet ministers from the forest zone and then 3 from the grass field for a cabinet of 8. What happened with Endeli? If you are doubting, go on to Google. Seek to find out the composition of the John Good Foncha government, the Endeli government, the Augustine Gomjua government. Look at the composition and you see exactly what it was. Our people, right at that time, already had an idea of how to manage a sociologically and culturally diverse society, ensuring that everyone was represented in the decision-making spheres. My dear people of Ambazonia, when La République du Cameroun and the French came in, because right from that time, they already knew the goal, the end goal. The end goal was annexation. And to get there, they needed to divide us and set up a system to make sure they hit our heads against one another. So we'll be fighting each other and competing for loyalty to La République du Cameroun, so that in the process, it will become difficult for us to ever become a united force to stand for our freedom, to stand for our right, to ensure that we restore our dignity as human beings. Today, you get a Bakosi master and say, hey, I don't see those graffiti people. Today, you get Bakosi master say, hey, graffiti people, You hear Mbelamoki say, the people we don't like. And when you heard him say, someone's knee is on the neck of the Southwest, Mbelamoki wasn't referring to La République du Cameroun. No. He wasn't referring to La République du Cameroun that has effectively killed Sonara and gone and buried it in Kribi. He wasn't referring to La République du Cameroun that has been drilling oil since the 1970s from the backwaters of Fako and Dian and taking all the resources for themselves. Chantal Biya and Adolphe Mudiki's wife, they live a lavish lifestyle with their boyfriends and children and families, thanks to resources coming from there. But Mbelamoki will never complain about them. Mbelamoki will never complain that Sonara, that was drilling the oil in Limbe, that not a single son of the so-called Southwest has never been general manager or deputy general manager. Mbelamoki will not complain. He will never complain that 95% of the staff of Sonara are citizens of La République du Cameroon. And that 98% of the decision-making positions are occupied by citizens of La République du Cameroon. That's not a problem for Mbelamoki. As long as they're occupied by the colonizers, that's awesome. But if anyone from the grassfield ever held any position in that kind of place, Mbelamoki Charles, Peter Mafane Musonge will say that is sacrilege. I don't blame them. Because sometimes you go to school, you acquire the certificates, but the schools don't pass through you. Because if the schools pass through you, you'll be thoroughly educated to the effect that you will see for yourself when they are manipulating you. If they constructed a petroleum product storage company in Limbe or in Tiko or even in Kumba to store this petroleum there and then transport it to other places, it will generate revenue for the communities and it will create jobs. Even if they come take 90% of the jobs, at least the other 10% will at least be occupied by the people of the communities. But they preferred to construct an expensive pipeline in the sea from Limbe to Douala to construct a petroleum product storage facility called SCDP in Douala. Just so you know, it is because of a lot of shouting and ranting and all whatnot, a liter of petrol was cheaper in Douala than in Limbe, where it is drilled. Today you have heard the voices in the bushes holding Supermon to ransom because water is tapped from our soil, bottled there in Fako, transported to Douala and sold cheaper in Douala than in Fako where it is bottled. How else do you want to know that they don't have respect for you? My dear people of Ambazonia, to cut a long story short, I'm taking all of this time to remind our people to the effect that we have no business with the elections taking place in La République du Cameroun. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Because you find some people coming that they are coming to hold political campaigns, they are coming to do this or that and all not in the southern Cameroons. If you go out for those rallies, you are putting yourself on a collision course with those who are moving around with arms. I'm saying this, be very careful. Be very careful. You know that the self-defense volunteers will come out anytime when there's a political campaign meeting to fight, to face the talks of La République du Cameroun. Too often, you may be caught up in the crossfire. Why do you want to sacrifice your lives for nothing? I'm talking to my people in Mogamo. I understand they are asking you to come out on Saturday, August 29, for a campaign rally. That they will be inaugurating a market and all. I don't know how you manage to get crops to those markets when there are no roads. Don't put your life in jeopardy. If you want to know, they will tell you that, oh, we have eradicated all the voices in the bushes and there is no one existing there. But if you want to know whether they are still there, ask Enwe Francis Abi. Ask Enwe Francis Abi, who has told us several times there was not a single one existing again in Widikum local government area. But just the other day, he managed to have 8 new ones surrendering. My dear people of Ambazonia, let me say this one in broken English. No take your life, take play tabala. You have heard that there's going to be a massive lockdown. I don't know the specific dates because there are a lot of things going on and all whatnot, and there are a lot of announcements being made. I'm looking to reach out to Comrades Prizo Comrade Yerima, and to all the other stakeholders in the liberation movement to know what they finally got to. And my intention of knowing this is because I want to continue to sensitize the civilian population so you make sure that you stay safe. So you make sure that you don't put your life on the line for foolishness. So you mind your movements. So you are able to stock your home and avoid being at the wrong place, at the wrong time, and with the wrong company. Let's be clear about this. My dear people of Ambazonia, I read someone said in a comment section, and say it's time for you to stop talking on social media. They stop saying the same things, repeating the same things over and over. It's time for you to come over here and fight. I've always made clear there is division of labor and specialization. There are people whose role in every liberation movement is to do what I'm doing. And there are people whose role is to do what others are doing. And let me say this. When you get those kind of comments, are from people who want us to be silent. But as Herald Holmes says, great victories are born in moments when we refuse to be silenced. We must refuse to be silenced. We must continue to speak up. We must continue to mobilize our people. We must continue to encourage each other. We must continue to inspire those who are trying to get tired. Because we have just one way, and that one way is the only way. My dear people, Roy T. Bennett says, you were born to stand out. Stop trying to fit in. The Southern Cameroons, as a territory, was created to stand out. And now all what the members of the CPDM crime syndicate and those lost souls calling themselves elite want us to do is for us to continue struggling to fit into La République du Cameroon when we are supposed to stand out and be that beacon of democracy that we were in the late 50s and early 60s. I always take every opportunity I have to remind the people of the Southern Cameroons that we were the first functional, not just first democracy, functional democracy in Africa south of the Sahara. I'm saying, recall, it is in the 1950s that elections were organized in the Southern Cameroon by a party in power, to which Ndele and his party. Ndele lost an election he organized, but went ahead to hand power over freely to John Good Foncha. That was the opposition. That was in the late 50s, 1959. In the late 50s. Something that when it happens on the African continent today, in the third millennium, people celebrate, people say, oh wow, there is change. No, we were already there. That is where we were prior to 1961. That is where we were. This tells you that we are naturally a very organized people, that we are people of integrity, that we are people with a focus, that we are people with a clear determination to make the institutions of our country work. But today, we find ourselves unevenly yoked with a country, with a people who don't even understand the meaning and importance of having functional and solid democratic institutions. That way, you will never think about development. So, my dear people, today I'm calling on you all who are watching me today. Besides sharing the link to this video as much as you can, do what you can with what you have, where you are, to push this liberation movement forward in whatever way. I'm quoting Theodore Roosevelt, a one-time president of the United States of America, when he was mobilizing people to ensure
that the union that makes the United States of America very strong will survive all forms of crisis and stand firm. He said, do what you can with what you have where you are to make this thing work. This is the message I'm sharing with the people of Ambazonia today, with the people of the former UN Trust territory of British Southern Cameroon today. This is my take-home message. Do what you can with what you have where you are to move this liberation movement forward. Failure is not an option. We have just one option, and that option is victory. But even as you go to bed tonight, most especially, don't forget, we have no business with the elections or selections ongoing in La République du Cameroon. Stay focused on our quest for total self-determination, for absolute independence. To God be the glory. Thank you for watching.